In preparation, I rise for these reparations. I'ma get them whether given or I have to take.
What's good, y'all? Your boy Prince, back with Prince J Live. Hey, man, it's been a minute since I've actually recorded one of these, so happy to be back, man. And you already know why I'm back. It's playoff time, baby. It's the NFL playoffs here. Got to get my picks out there. You know what I mean? I don't want people to say it's fluke when I go 6-0 this week and act like, hey, it didn't count. You didn't put your picks out there, so I'm going to go ahead and put them out there. I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I'm feeling this week. And we'll roll from there because I feel good about my picks this week. We won't delay too much. I don't have a whole lot of preamble. It's been a big. Hey, you see the Wizards. You see the Wizards stuff back there. You know what I mean? I got Kristaps Porzingis back there, the bobblehead on the wall. Tell them how we feeling right now, Kristaps. We feeling real good, baby. Wiz just landed Trae Young. I guess I'll tell y'all how I feel about that real quick. It should be a video on my IG shortly about that, but I guess by the time anyone sees this video, it'll already be up there. But I'm happy. I'm happy about this trade. Here's the thing about the Wizards getting Trae Young. They didn't have to give up anything. We gave up the expiring deal of C.J. McCollum. He was on his way out anyway. In fact, the whole point of having C.J. McCollum was so that we could try to flip him into something. You didn't think you'd be able to get a four-time All-Star for someone like C.J. McCollum. And so to me, this was like the best-case scenario in the deal for someone like C.J. You had to toss Corey Kispert in there for multiple reasons. That is a younger player who Atlanta can possibly keep around for a little while longer if they choose, but also to make the money work. So I think C.J. and Corey can help Atlanta this year. They didn't come away with nothing. They are, fighting for playoff position and whatnot. They were a lot better without Trae. They just added some pieces that could potentially help in that playoff push. The Wizards get a player who, hey man, this is a guy who's electric at his best. He's a star player, 4-time All-Star as I mentioned. If he pans out for the Wizards, they have the new face of their franchise going forward. Someone who can lead these young guys into a season of contention. Right now, we've been in a season of rebuilding. It's been a long season of rebuilding. I'm not talking about the specific 2025-26 season. I'm just talking about the season of the phase of where this team is at in its rebuild. It's been a rebuild for the last 2-3 plus years. Trae Young helps them turn that corner potentially. We do need to continue tanking this year. We need to finally win one of these lotteries, man. Even if you don't win this specific lottery, top 3 pick is a must. You get a top 3 pick, you get one of those dudes at the top of this draft. We expect there to be at least 3 of them, like game-changing dudes at the top of this draft. You add one of those dudes to this Wizards roster that already has Alex Sarr, already has Keyshawn George, already has Trey Johnson, already has Bilal Coulibaly. You know what I mean? Guys that you feel good about. Throw Trae Young into the mix next season. Throw whoever you get in the draft this year into the mix next season. Suddenly you feel good about this team going forward to finally turn a corner to potentially push for a playoff spot next year, dare I say. Even if that's through a play-in tournament, So, yeah, I like the deal for the Wizards, man. They didn't give up anything to get Trae Young. It is a low-risk, high-reward swing for the fences. All right, let's get into these picks real quick for the NFL playoffs. Wild card round. What a freaking season, man. And I say that from the standpoint of, like, unpredictability. Not even that it was such a great season of football. You know what I mean? Like, the football was like whatever. Maybe because this whole thing of parity that we talk about, all the teams are a little bit. It's not that there was some team up here and everyone else elevated their level of play to make the playing field level. There was a team or a couple teams up here, Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Eagles last year. And I feel like those teams brought their level of play down so that the playing field leveled down here a little bit. Actually, we'll say they came down a notch. A couple teams raised it, so it was somewhere in the middle, right? Like I still think there are good teams out there. I'm just not so sure there's a great team out there. But when you talk about the wild card playoffs, because of those circumstances, I think we are going to have all-time great postseason. I just think there's going to be a lot of continued unpredictability. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Who knows, man? We made some picks at FTW this week, and not gonna lie, not like I put a whole lot of thought into it, man. I went with the Rams and the Patriots. I went with the Rams and Patriots. So I guess I just gave you two of my wild card picks right there. Those teams got to win in round one to get to the Super Bowl. So we can start there, actually. We will go ahead and start with the first game of this weekend between the Rams and the Panthers. The Rams have to go on the road to Charlotte for the second time this year. I guess we're in 2026 now. Second time this season. And try to beat the Panthers where they lost during the regular season. They lost a close game to the Panthers in the regular season. And right now, the Rams are 10.5-point favorites on the road against a team that they lost to already. And, yeah, I already told you I think the Rams are going to win. I'll take it a step further. I like the Rams against the spread. Now, I did get this line at -10. They threw that extra half point up there. That can get tricky, right? Because, 10 is a nice round number where the game can end at a field goal and a touchdown. That half point could throw you off, but I think they even covered the 10.5. And this one is real simple for me, man. You go back and look at that first Rams. Let's just get this out the way first. The Rams are a much better team than the Panthers. I think we can all say that. When they lost to the Panthers the first time, it should have never happened. There were circumstances that led to it going down that way. That might have been a trap game for the Rams. And even still, they played a decent game offensively. They just didn't necessarily show up defensively. And so let's get into that for a second. The Panthers kind of had their way with the Rams defense that first game, but also they played almost flawlessly offensively. And I say that relative to what we can expect from the Panthers. They did still punt the ball like 3 times in that game. Outside of that, though, that was about as good of an offensive game you'll get from the Panthers. They aren't gonna replicate that success against the Rams in the playoffs. It's just not gonna happen. They have not been that good consistently throughout this season. And so I don't expect the Panthers offense to show up in that way. Bryce Young is not consistent enough in that way. They don't have enough weapons. I expect the Rams defense to be a lot better. They were missing a linebacker in that game. Actually, no, the Panthers were missing a linebacker in that game, Christian Roseboom. We'll get into that in a second. But the Rams defense is a lot better than what they showed up in that game. Flip it to the other side of the ball, man. The Rams moved the ball at will in that game. They had their way with Carolina's defense, too. Here's what flipped the game. One fluky Matt Stafford interception in the red zone. Mind you, the Rams only lost by like 4 points. All right. They had one fluky Matt Stafford interception in the red zone. He tried to throw a touchdown. It got tipped up in the air. Someone intercepted it in the end zone. All right. You take that interception away, the Rams win. But then there was another Matt Stafford interception where I think he does this from time to time, where he gets just a little full of himself. He can make every throw. He gets a little fancy. He does the no-look stuff. This one wasn't a no-look, but he did kind of throw it across his body. He tried to throw it like a comeback route over on the left sideline. It just wasn't there. But he trusted his arm a little too much. Cornerback jumped it, took it back the other way for a pick six. So that pick six alone flips the score on its own. But then he also had the fluke interception in the end zone. And that was the game right there. You take those 2 interceptions away, the Rams win that thing by 10 points easily. All right, so I say that to say we shouldn't expect that from Matt Stafford. Those aren't things we can expect to happen again. This is an MVP candidate this year. I expect Matt Stafford to show up, and I expect that loss to the Panthers to give them an extra little bit of juice. It's almost bad for the Panthers that happened. Maybe the Rams go into this game a little more lackadaisical if they hadn't lost to this team already. But they already lost to this team. It's a game they know they should have won. I think the Rams are going to show up. I think they're going to stomp a mud hole in the Panthers. -10, that's an easy pick for me, taking the Rams. All right, let's get to the second game on Saturday. Packers at Bears. Spread for this game looks like the Packers are 1-point favorites. -1. They're on the road, so you got another road favorite here. It's basically a pick 'em, though. It's a 1-point spread. I think that's fair. I think these teams are close enough to where a 1-point spread is fair. They did split the 2 games they played in the regular season. maybe the home team should get a little bit more credit here. But I like the Packers to win this game. I'm on the Packers money line, and this is twofold for me. Number one, the Packers are not new to the playoffs. At this point, Jordan Love has been to the playoffs. Did the Packers go last year? I'm having a hard time remembering. I know they went a couple years ago. Can't remember what happened last year. But at this point, Matt LaFleur has been there several times. They went last year too. So, they lost in the wild card round. But two straight early playoff exits for the Packers. They aren't new to this scenario. So I expect them to show up and be a little bit more confident in their process this week and what they're doing. This is new to the Bears. Now, Ben Johnson has been there a couple times with the Lions. They have some players who have playoff experience, but for the most part as a unit, this is new to all of these guys. Ben Johnson has not been the head coach of a playoff team. Caleb Williams has never been to the playoffs. I expect there to be some nerves there, and I expect the Packers to have an advantage in that alone. But then you take it to the field, and I still like the Packers as a team a little bit more. I know they've been a little underwhelming this year. Micah Parsons, that injury is huge. But even you take Micah Parsons out of there, you saw that last Packers-Bears game. Caleb Williams played a phenomenal game. He still holds on to the ball way too long. And I think that's going to come back to bite him in the playoffs where the margins are just a little bit smaller. He can't get out there holding the ball like he likes to. I don't think that's going to work here in this game against the Packers. I think the Bears are going to need their run game to be strong to win this game. And I think they're basically going to need Ben Johnson to call a perfect game for this thing to work out. And I just don't see it going that way because I think Jordan Love on the other side, I think he's going to be more poised. I think he was the more poised quarterback in that first game between the Packers and Bears where he was able to stay healthy the whole game. The second game, he got hurt, and Malik Willis took over. And maybe if that doesn't happen, the Packers sweep the Bears, potentially. Not that Malik Willis played bad by any means. He didn't. But Jordan Love is just a different kind of good. He can get the ball down the field, and I just expect him to come in here and be lights out. Not to mention, the Packers have basically had like 2 bye weeks in a row. Like, a lot of their guys have been resting down the stretch of the season. When's the last time we seen Josh Jacobs, really? I know he played that last game, but he would he get like a few carries? That wasn't even the last game. I don't think he played the last game at all. I think it was the last game of the fantasy playoffs. So what was that, week 16? Week 17 maybe? Where Josh Jacobs got like 4 carries in the first half and didn't touch the ball again, it seemed like. So, yeah, these guys are well rested. Jordan Love didn't play down, the last game of the season, or really since that Bears game, he's been hurt. So I think these guys are coming in well rested. The Bears have some injuries over there, man. We haven't seen Rome Odunze in a while. Sounds like he is going to try to give it a go. I think he returned to practice this week. So we'll see how that goes, but you never know what level of comfort, rust, all of those things he'll have. Kyler Gordon, he's been kind of limited in practice. So we'll see how it goes for the Bears. But I just expect the Packers to be more poised, more ready for the moment. I'm not saying they're going to run with this game by any means, but it's only a 1-point spread. It's a pick 'em. If I got to pick a team to win, I'm going with the Packers on the road. Give me the Pack, man. Good season for the Bears, though, man. This is, the start of something promising they got going on there. I do like what Ben Johnson is doing there. All right, let's get going on Sunday. First game on Sunday, we're looking at Bills Jaguars. Another basically pick 'em. The spread is down to 1 point. Another one where the road team is favored. We got the Buffalo Bills favored in Jacksonville by 1. This is a scenario where I just got to take the value on the better team at home. Like in this case, I don't even think it's a question that Jacksonville's a better team than Buffalo. Based off of everything we've seen on the field this year, Jacksonville had a shot at the number 1 seed. Like they've just been consistently better than the Bills. The only reason Buffalo is favored in this game, and I keep saying favored, it's a pick 'em, but the only reason Buffalo, it's not a 3-point spread as it usually is for the home team, is because of Josh Allen. Josh Allen closes that gap. Josh Allen makes this a toss-up. And you know what? For me, he's not enough for me to pick against the Jags. He just simply is not. I don't like this Buffalo defense. I think Jacksonville can have their way with them. I think they have too many weapons. I think Travis Etienne has shown, that he can be a true workhorse running back in this league. I think he's had a phenomenal year, and I think he'll do just enough to open up the field for Trevor Lawrence to hit these different weapons. They went and got Jacoby Myers. Parker Washington is a good, jump ball, contested ball, big body out there for him. Brian Thomas doesn't have the pressure to make every single play out there because of these other weapons. I just like what the Jaguars can do offensively. Trevor Lawrence is playing the type of football we've been waiting to see from him. Go to the other side of the ball. Buffalo's offense just, it's basic. It's basic. It's Josh Allen playing hero ball out there. Receivers don't get open enough. And Josh, even playing hero ball, he doesn't always have all the answers, man. He can't do it all. If James Cook doesn't get going, then you can forget about it. This turns into a game the Jaguars win by more than a touchdown. If Josh Allen gets the benefit of a good running game, which he usually does, James Cook, your Russian title and all, your Russian champion, that helps. I think that makes this a lot tighter of a game. In the end, though, I like the better team at home. I'm taking the Jaguars plus. I got them at plus 1.5. I went ahead and just jumped on that. Just in case, it is Josh Allen out there. Just in case. Now at plus 1, you're not getting the benefit of that half point. Maybe you just go ahead and take the Jags money line. The second game on Sunday is 49ers Eagles. All right, so this one was a little tougher for me because the Eagles on paper appear to be the better team, but they have been wildly inconsistent this year. So here's what I do. I lean Eagles to win this game. I'm taking the points with the Niners. And right now it's up to 5. When I seen it, it was plus 4.5, and this is why you take underdogs late, because that line usually moves in favor of the favorite the longer you wait. So right now it is -5 in favor of the Eagles. I would take the points with the Niners, man. I don't know if the Niners win this game. I think they maybe a little too banged up. Trent Williams still not practicing. Ricky Pearsall's banged up. Wide receiver core was not the greatest to begin with. I think Brock Purdy's playing good ball. Christian McCaffrey, he's been phenomenal. So you always got that to lean on. But I really like that Eagles defense. I feel like that's been the most consistent part of this team this year, especially when Jalen Carter's out there. I'm not sure what his status is right now. They need Jalen Carter out there to really make good on this, to make good on a win. Looks like he was limited in practice on Wednesday. Jalen Carter's out there. I think the Eagles defense shut the Niners down and really carry the Eagles to a win. Problem is, Eagles offense, how much do you trust them to actually pull away in this game? And I don't, which is why I take the points in this one. Play calling is iffy, man. I know everyone likes to throw everything on Jalen Hurts. I mean, I've been watching these games too. I don't think they get necessarily the best game plans going into these games. I don't think they stick to the run enough. I don't think they use the run enough to set up the pass well enough. Down the stretch, it did look like Saquon Barkley got going a little bit better. So you think that they can do enough to win this game, especially against a Niners defense that's been, Robert Saleh is having a great year just as far as putting these guys in position to succeed. But it's not the most talented bunch out there for the Niners. Just too many injuries. I think they do enough to make Jalen Hurts second guess himself. Do just enough to keep the Eagles from pulling away. I don't think they do enough to win, though. I think the Eagles can make enough plays to win this thing, and that really just comes down to what I think of their defense. So, Niners +5 now. That's the pick there, but I do think the Eagles win. Actually, you know what? A better pick for this game is the under. Based off of everything I just said, I really like the under 44.5. 44.5 points. That line hasn't moved really since it opened. I like the under in this game. I just don't think the Niners can do enough to score consistently against the Eagles defense. And I don't think the Eagles offense is good enough to take advantage of an undermanned Niners defense. And then the last game on Sunday night, we got Chargers at Patriots. And this game right here is the one where I will admit I am at a loss for it. I have absolutely no clue what happens. My pick is the Patriots money line. I'm taking the Patriots to win the game. All right, because I said I was going to come here and give you picks for all of them. So even though I don't feel confident in this one as much as I do the others, if I'm picking a winner, I'm going with the Patriots. Patriots are at home. The Patriots are the better team. They've consistently been the better team all season. But one thing I will say about the Patriots, similar to the Bears and Caleb Williams, this is going to be new for a lot of these guys, including Drake May. And I just think the intensity of playoff football is a little different, and you never know how people respond to that, which is why I can't feel completely confident about it. The Chargers have been here a few times. Justin Herbert has been to the playoffs a couple times, hasn't necessarily showed up and had the best performances, but at least it won't be new to him. It's definitely not new to Jim Harbaugh. He knows how to prepare a team. And so I do think the Chargers get an advantage in that sense, but if we're just laying things out on paper, unlike how I feel about the Packers against the Bears, where I think the Packers are actually a better team, despite being on the road, in this game, I think the Patriots are a better team than the Chargers, especially with the injuries on the Chargers' offensive line. I think that's really what dooms the Chargers. But based off of everything we've seen this year, I think the Patriots have consistently performed better. So I would take them to win this game. They're at home. They're not as flawed. I think they can find room to run on the Chargers. And if they do that, that just makes life so much easier on young Drake May in his first playoff game. Once you remove that pressure, I think he can find there are some gaps in that Chargers secondary you can exploit. I think he can make those plays. And Justin Herbert's protection is just bad. Like, I think Justin Herbert, it's not necessarily that I think the Patriots have like the greatest pass rush, but I think, his protection is so bad that they don't need the greatest pass rush to make him feel it a little bit, and he'll make some plays because he can do that. And I wouldn't even blame Justin Herbert for this L. If he doesn't go out there and just completely shit the bed like he did against Houston last year, which I don't expect, I think he'll do all that he can to lift the Chargers up. I just don't think it's going to be enough against this Patriots defense. Give me the Pats to win. Then let's finish this thing up with Texans at Steelers. I got Houston winning this thing. They are 3-point road favorites. Another road favorite, another home dog. This one makes a lot more sense. I like the Texans to cover that 3-point spread. That's my pick. I'm not just taking them on the money line. I like Houston to cover 3 points. If you want a side bet, maybe take the under. It was 39.5 last time I checked. It's already down to 38.5, so that thing's dropping. If you want it, get it now. It's probably going to keep dropping. But I like Houston against the spread simply because I don't believe Pittsburgh's offense is going to be able to move the ball on the Texans, even with DK Metcalf back. I don't think he makes much of a difference against this Texans defense. They get after the quarterback in a hurry. Now, we know Aaron Rodgers likes to get the ball out of there fast. It's not like he's going to be out there holding it a whole lot to give them a chance to get to him. Myles Garrett knows all about that. At the same time, Houston's defense doesn't have a lot of holes. Like, you're getting the ball out of there fast to do what? Throw it away? As I hope you're not trying to fit it into these tight windows. Houston will take advantage of that. And I think at the end of the day, that defense is going to do enough to win this game on its own. I also think that offense is starting to make some strides here where C.J. Stroud is playing some good football. Last game of the season wasn't their best, but with that exception, this offense has been starting to move the ball a little bit, taking some shots down the field. You got some other receivers stepping up outside of Nico Collins. They don't have the greatest run game with Woody Marks, but that Steelers defense, for all the names out there, They're kind of spotty, man. Like, it's not like the most inspiring unit. We saw what Lamar Jackson did to them in the second half of that Week 18 game. Like, they have a lot of communication breakdowns, and that's just the type of thing that the Houston offense takes advantage of. Like, they aren't the most sharp offense all the time, but if you make a mistake, they will find those and take advantage of it. I still like C.J. Stroud. I think he makes good decisions out there. Like I said, he won't get good help from his running game, which is why this game isn't a bigger spread, because it is going to be on CJ to go out there and make some plays. But ultimately, how much is Pittsburgh going to score? It's not going to be a whole lot. CJ should be able to go out there and make plays. He's now a seasoned vet now in these playoffs, right? What is this, 3 straight years of playoff appearances for the Houston Texans? And so I expect them to go out there very confident. I expect D'Amico to have his team ready to go, and I expect the Texans to cover that 3-point spread. And that's it, y'all. That's my pick for Wild Card Weekend. Just to give a rundown of the winners real quick, I got the Rams, got the Packers, got the Jaguars, got the Eagles, Patriots, and Texans. Those are my winners in Wild Card Weekend. I think we'll do this again for the divisional round of the playoffs. But it was a blast to be back. If you like what you heard, if I help you make any money, go ahead and tap that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll do it again. Catch y'all next time.